Good morning and welcome to the Mid-Maine Chamber of Commerce Business Breakfast Series. My name is Kim Linloff and I'm the President and CEO of the Mid-Maine Chamber. It's my pleasure to welcome you here today. Before we begin, I want to thank our sponsors, AT&T, Cross Insurance, New Dimensions Federal Credit Union, Nicholson, Michoud, and Nadeau, CPAs, O'Donnell Lee Martin, DuBoard Attorneys, Sheridan Construction. Our print media sponsors are the Morning Sentinel and Turner Publications. Our radio sponsor is 107.9 The Mix. And Kennebec Savings Bank is our video sponsor. I want to especially thank Central Maine Motors Auto Group and Summit Natural Gas, their additional sponsors today. And I want to remind you, if you didn't already, I think most of you did, to visit our business spotlighters. We have the Belle of Belgrade mobile bus, Connected Credit Union, Sunrise Bagel, and the Travis Mills Foundation. Cindy? Okay, thank you. Be sure to visit the spotlight. I already read that. Please welcome our new chamber members, Ira Mandel, Three Guys Property, LLC, Lake Point at Portside Real Estate Group, Comet Couriers, Mid-Maine Technical Center, Garden Girl 420, LLC, Holistic Acceleration, Elm City Community Music School, and Make Their Day Physical Therapy and Wellness. A reminder at this time to please turn off your cell phones in consideration of our guests, and please don't forget to fill out the evaluation form that's at your table. We have a bunch of events coming up. We have a bunch of ribbon cuttings in the next few weeks. Everybody's trying to get them in before the snow flies. For a complete listing, go to midmainechamber.com/ribbon cuttings. The Festival of Trees is coming. This year's event will be held at the Elks Banquet Center, and it's the weekend before Thanksgiving and the weekend immediately following Thanksgiving. If you want to volunteer, we are desperate for volunteers. We have a lot of openings. It's all in chronological order, so at the end of the first weekend, there's a tab to hit more. Of course, we have fewer people signed up for Thanksgiving that weekend after Thanksgiving, and that's when we need the most help because that's when it's really, really busy. To volunteer, you can go to festivalofTreesMaine.net and click on volunteer. But if you can't volunteer, but you're here with your family and you want to attend, we'd love to see you. It is sold out this year. We do have a full room of trees, 53, 54, something like that, a lot of trees. Don't forget to join us in shopping locally this season. Shop Small Saturday takes place around Central Maine on Saturday, November 29th. That's the one after Thanksgiving. Local coupon books, shopping bags, discounts, and a chance to win a $100 chamber gift certificate will be part of the fun. Coupons will also be available on the chamber's website for extended savings. Most of those coupons don't just end that weekend. Some of them go on for months and months into 2026. Applications are available for nominations for annual award recipients. This year's event will happen at the end of April. Please submit your form for a deserving individual or business. Deadline is the beginning of December, and Cindy has some the criteria over on her table, registration table. It's also available online at our website. Our next business breakfast will be right here on December 11th, same time, and it's entitled Nonprofit Sustainability Planning, How to Evolve with the Changing Times. And that's going to be presented by President and CEO Ken Walsh of the Alphon Youth and Community Center. He's going to share best practices for creating sound, sustainable budgets that align with long-term funding strategies, and you can register at midmainechamber.com. Our December business after hours will be on Wednesday, December 17th at the Waterville Elks Lodge. Join us from 5:30 to 7 for good food, drinks, networking, 50/50 drawings, and door prizes. Today's presentation is entitled Digital Marketing Tips for Your Organization. Gary Elliott will present an interactive workshop on this topic. There'll be time provided at the end for Q&A. The event is live streamed, so be careful what you say. And a link can be provided if you or your colleagues want to see this afterwards, because it's also being taped and will be up on YouTube. So at this time, it gives me pleasure to introduce Martha Wentworth, Commercial Lines Producer for Allen Insurance and Financial, and a valuable board member of the Mid-Maine Chamber of Commerce. Martha?
Thanks, Kim, and welcome, everybody. I got the privilege of announcing Gary Elliott and reading you his bio. With nearly a decade of experience in digital marketing, Gary Elliott has built a career in connecting brands with audiences using a data-driven strategy to deliver measurable results. Skilled across multiple digital platforms and specializing in campaign development, audience targeting, and performance optimization. Over the past 10 years, Gary has led successful initiatives in areas such as SEO, search engine optimization, content strategy, and social advertising, with the last 6 years focused on the OTT, CTV, which is over-the-top connected TV space, and video as the preferred medium, helping clients grow visibility, engagement, and return on investment. Gary's focus is on delivering campaigns and data-driven insight that align with broader business goals. Please join me in welcoming Gary Elliott.
Thanks, Martha. You're welcome. Thank you.
Gary, turn.
Beautiful. Thank everybody for having me. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Kim, for having me today. Thank you, Martha, for the introduction. It's funny because the other day when I was finally finalizing everything and putting everything together, I reached out to Cindy and I said, how much time do I have? I'm thinking 20 to 30 minutes. And Cindy comes back to me and she says, no, you have 50 minutes, which is kind of funny because I've got 2 sisters and they won't even give me 5 minutes of their time. So good morning, everybody. And today we're going to speak on digital marketing that delivers. Growing your visibility, engagement, and return on investment. I'm Gary Elliott. Previously, I operated as a digital strategist for New Center, Maine, so I've been 6 years as a digital strategist from New Center, Maine, working behind the scenes on campaigns for Central Maine Motors, Thomas College. Yep, I've worked at Thomas College quite a bit. And thank you, once again, thank you for having me. Who is this guy really? Thank you for the introduction, Martha, and thank you, ChatGPT, for refining my thoughts on that. That didn't all come from me. So who is this guy really? So I grew up in Bridgeton, Maine, spent about 18 years after college in Portland, Maine, and I now reside in Bangor, Maine. I thought it was funny when I asked for a picture of Libbytown in Portland, Maine. My house is actually right there. That's where I lived in Portland, Maine. I graduated from Lake Region High School in St. Joseph's College monk. I'm a St. Joseph's College monk. In my time, we dominated Thomas College in basketball. Yeah. Skipping right through there. Let's go ahead and get started. 97% of consumers look online before visiting a business. I think we've all heard this stat before. I like to reverse this stat a little bit and think to myself, only 3% drive around looking for you. You know, 90% of the people are going to make a decision before they even arrive at your location. 76% of those searches lead to a visit within 24 hours. And the reason that happens is that a lot of those searches are a near me search. So when people want things, they want them now. It also indicates a readiness to act. When people go online to search for you and check you out, what they're looking for is reassurance that you're able, that before they spend the money, that you're able to provide the service that they need or the product. Your digital presence is your first impression. You're now being judged before the person even walks into your retail store, or before they even check you out online, or before they even contact you. Kelly and I were talking about it the other day, and before digital really took a foothold, it would be the equivalent of driving by a place and seeing an old sign up and seeing an old broken up parking lot. You're not going to pull in there looking for service or looking for insurance or banking, because that's the presence or the first impression that they're giving you. A lot of common questions. I'm posting but not seeing results. How do I get more people to notice my business? And where do I even start? Organic activity. Let's talk about organic activity. This is non-paid activity, and organic activity is a long play. So when we talk about social media and things of that nature, it's an elongated play to allow people to come and notice and arrive at your business. The big thing with that is consistency. So when you post, do it on a rhythm. Think of it as a drum beat. When you interact with people or when you post to social media, don't do it one day out of the week. Do it when you've got something to share, and make sure it's consistent and on a rhythm. And as far as where do I even start? Just start. Our goal here is to make sure that the right people find you at the right time. Some of the channels that can be used are Google Maps, social, and paid ads. When we talk on paid ads, that's what I specialize in now. I specialize in the OTT CTV space. So in the ability to deliver targeted video ads to your potential clients or your audience. Sorry. A lot of people will come to me and they'll say, well, the entire state of Maine is my potential audience. What we specialize in New Center, Maine, is developing pools of most likely. So it is true that anybody in the state of Maine could be in need of your product or service, but what we want to do is have a refined, targeted approach to how you display your creative. One of the first things you can do, I actually started in SEO. So I started in SEO back in 2000, I think it was 2015. I had a friend who was a website developer, and he was looking for someone to dig into that for him. And so we kind of created a cohesive little unit there in the fact that he would build websites and I'd SEO optimize them. The one thing that you can do for yourself locally is to go ahead and optimize your Google business profile. I was just out there the other day. I looked at one of our clients who has been in business for, I want to say 15 to 20 years and still has not claimed their profile or done anything with it. Now, of course, that's people coming out looking for you, and the first thing they find is a profile that hasn't been updated in a while, and no recent relevant pictures, and really nothing going on. No response to reviews. Once again, we're talking about adding photos and posts weekly, and in a rhythm. The way that SEO kind of works is that Google doesn't want to see you coming in once a year and uploading all your photos. What they want to see is, once again, on that same drum beat and rhythm, being active, being engaged with people, responding to reviews, whether they're good or they're not so good. The one thing you want to do with a not so good review is make sure that you respond and make sure you do it in a way that promotes a partnership with the individuals who are reaching out to you. I looked at, and if you want to see an example, you can look at Central Maine Motors. And I looked at Maine Eye Care. And they do a great job of responding to reviews. I'll tell you, just yesterday I had an experience, a bad experience at a local retail location. I went home to make sure that I could validate my bad experience. So I looked at their reviews and see if anyone had experienced the same thing. Good reviews got a tailored response. Bad reviews got a canned response. If you look at Central Maine Motors and you look at Maine Eye Care, I looked at their good reviews and their bad reviews. None of them are canned. And that's true engagements. That's how you engage with people and keep it real and you keep it authentic. Keep your name, address, and phone number consistent across all platforms. So make sure it matches on your website. Make sure it matches on your Google profile. Paid visibility ads that work. Smart budgets go far. So in the old days, before we had any ability to target, before we had digital, you would just spend as much money as possible to get to as many people as possible, and that would be the way. You now have the opportunity to take a more refined budget, I will call it, and and make that really work for you because we have the targeted options. When I say target within 10 to 20 miles, I'm talking about the same thing that we spoke on earlier, which is essentially, it is true that the entire state of Maine can be your audience, but we want to make sure that we're having smart spends, that we target the people who are most likely, the pool of most likely. And another opportunity is retargeting visitors who have engaged. Now, that's something we specialize in at New Center, Maine. We do have a setup that allows you to do website retargeting. And some of the easiest home runs you'll ever hit will be retargeting those people who have already showed interest in your business by arriving at your site. Test one campaign at a time and make it one change at a time. I have a lot of people that will come to me, we'll start a campaign, and what they'll do is they'll get 3 months in, they'll say, you know, I'm kind of not feeling it. Can we change up the targeting? The targeting I originally gave you, I think now instead of being females 35 plus, I think maybe we should look at males 30 plus. And then I want to change my creative. And then I also want to change the geo that we're using for that. The only problem with that is that now you're abandoning the data that we've already collected. So if it's a gut feeling, that's one thing, but a data-driven decision is entirely different. So when you make a change to a campaign or you do anything like that, any sort of adjustment, you want to make it one at a time so you know what's making the change for you. You know what's driving people to your business. You don't want to change everything so that you can't target back as to what change made this work for you.
What's geo?
Geography. So when you talk about where you're seeing geo, I apologize.
No, you said it.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
So sorry.
Okay.
So when I speak on geo, I'm speaking on geography, how you target your geography. When I speak on organic activity, I'm speaking on anything that you're not paying for. So anything that organically arrives at your website or your business. Measure what matters. Google searches and map clicks. The last I knew, and maybe Central Maine Motors can chime in here at some point, but the last thing I saw was that with Google search, we're moving further and further away from being the first in line, right? So when you search with Google now, what are you seeing? You're seeing what it thinks, or AI thinks, is your best result. You're no longer getting the business who hired an SEO guy to come in for 3 months and optimize their site for Google in relevance. So that's being trumped by map clicks, which is basically that little map pack that arrives that tells you about the local businesses. Because usually when people are online searching, just like I said before, people want things now, and that's how they go about it. You want to also track your website visits, ad impressions, and click-through rate. Click-through rate used to be a big thing. I'm not sure it's that big anymore, but you do want to keep track of it. The other thing we want to speak on is calls, forms, and messages. We have the ability at New Center, Maine. We use a product with our OTT CTV called attribution. So the great thing about it is a lot of this right here we can track for you. So if you have commercial activity online, we place a pixel on your website. And essentially what we can do is record IP addresses that arrive to your website. The great thing about that is that we already know the IP addresses that we delivered to. So then we do a simple match back, and we lay claim to that as an attributed visit. We can do the same thing with your forms, and we can report on all that information. A lot of people, it's funny because people come to me and they're like, well, do you have a dashboard? Do you have a dashboard so I can see all my information? With New Center Maine, you're going to get a plug-and-play result, meaning that we'll do the reporting for you, and we'll collect everything for you. The real goal here is to turn views into relationships. It's no longer how many clicks can I get and how many likes can I get. The big thing used to be, oh, look at that post, look how many likes we got, right? But did it really drive business? The platforms that are used as far as social, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and then of course we've got paid advertising, all in conjunction with each other. Views are nice, but we're looking for business. These platforms now reward you for developing relationships. In the past, they rewarded you again, once again, for likes and clicks. Algorithms are so complex at this point that they have become predictors of behavior. And that's how we're able to use CTV, right? So when I tell you that I can target somebody who's 35 plus and in market for a new home, it's because we have that data and we have that information. And we can just cross-hatch it. And that's how we come up with our pool of most likely. Short form video is king. So anybody who uses TikTok? Anybody in here use TikTok? Okay. When I first got TikTok, I couldn't sleep. I was addicted to it, right? I just all night long, right? Yes, correct. You're laying there, and I still kind of do that sometimes. 3 in the morning, TikTok. What am I doing? But I think about short form video being king, and I think about the fact that I work for a broadcast network. We've been short form video as far as advertising forever. 15-second commercial, 30-second commercial. 15-second, 30-second. Now that's the way of life. People prefer authentic over polished. And so what that essentially means is that don't wait to polish off your product. Don't wait until you can get a video production crew in and things of that nature. Go ahead and fire away. I think about the different types of platforms. So I look at Facebook and I look at LinkedIn, and that's essentially your professional platform, right? That's you telling people, you know, this is what we do, this is what we offer. When you look at things like Instagram and TikTok, that's your opportunity to show them a little bit about who you are behind the scenes. So when I look at Instagram and I see business profiles and I see them offering me 20% off, if I found you on Instagram, that's the thing that I went over to Instagram to try to avoid on Facebook, right? What I want on Instagram is I want to know a little bit more about your business, and I want to know a little bit more about you, and that's how you build the trust and confidence. Local stories beat big campaigns. Once again, this plays on the same thing we just spoke on, which is people prefer your authentic self. They prefer you talking about what's going on locally. And essentially, you can make a campaign as big as you want to, but if it doesn't speak to the people who potentially are going to visit your business, then it's not going to work. Comments and conversations matter most. Once again, engaging people when they arrive, and that's everybody, whether it's good or bad, that you engage those people, and you carry on that conversation and that partnership with a potential client or customer. Tell your story and the story of your community. Educate, entertain, and engage. Right there. The opportunity to educate the people in your community, tips, how-tos, facts. Those are your Facebook, LinkedIn items, right? Once again, this is my business. This is what we do. This is the product we offer. This is the service we offer. Entertain is more like humor behind the scenes. And that's where I hop over to Instagram and TikTok. Engage. Ask the questions and highlight customers. People love testimonials. People love seeing the people in your community talking about how great your business is. We do a lot of testimonial video, and it's some of the most successful video that we have. So we'll do a standard commercial for somebody, a 30-second commercial, and then we'll do 3 testimonial videos. And I have the ability through attribution to tell you which video performed best. Once again, through IP address matchback. And this is where it all starts to come together. Remember at the beginning of the talk, we discussed being included or excluded from consideration almost immediately by 97% of people. They won't come to your business if what they're seeing online they can't relate to, or they see you not engaging or things of that nature. So that's it before a potential client even walks in your door. And all of these things are what create a favorable impression of your business. There is a real world example. It was a local cafe. They simply used Facebook Reels. So they were using Facebook Reels, and they were just holding up their phone and talking a little bit about their business and what they do, and showing who they were. They doubled their foot traffic. Show people what makes your business human. Show people who you are. Using short form video and your authenticity. It's no longer how many likes did we get. We spoke on that a few minutes ago. It's more about how many people did I drive to my business and how much business did I create. So that's your true measure. That's your baseline. So a lot of times what I'll do with people is I'll work with them up front to kind of get an idea of where they're at with their business, what they look like now, so that when I move forward or we move forward with a campaign, we can measure it, and we can measure that against a baseline. How many customers did we gain? The new way is using both organic and paid advertising options to continuously flow traffic to your website. It used to be you could pay for traffic. So you could pay for traffic. Pretty much Google has shut down everything that you could do that's considered, I think they called it black hat tactic, that you could do. Everything must be engagement, organic, and earned. Anybody got any questions? Am I just rolling through this? Go ahead, ma'am.
I was going to ask if you wanted us to hold questions to the end.
No, you're good.
Go along. So the slide before, you were talking about the difference of Facebook and Instagram. So this is one thing that I've been really wondering about. When you go to Instagram and post, it automatically, unless you turn it off, puts that same content on Facebook. So do you think it's best to turn that off and be doing two separate lives almost, like putting two different things on each instead of cross?
I would.
Okay.
I would, and I don't even keep my personal connected.
Right. Okay.
When I'm on Facebook, that's to tell people happy birthday.
Right.
Right? And the funny thing about it is I don't even do that anymore. I private message them because I feel like Facebook reminding me of my friends' birthdays is a cop-out, right? I should have a calendar somewhere. But yes, they're two separate profiles and they're used for two separate things, or that's the way I would use them. It's funny because I thought to myself the other night is the young kids keep moving on us, right? So they introduced us to Facebook. We took over Facebook, right? They introduced us to Instagram. We're over on Instagram. Here we are, all the old people again, right? So can you tell us about that? Why do you guys keep moving? So, and we'll probably take over TikTok as well. The only thing we won't take from you guys is Snapchat. I have no interest, so, yeah. Any other questions at this point before I move forward? Yes, sir.
So I'll put on my chamber hat right now. We're trying to get information out to the 20-somethings.
Yep.
Right? But I'm 50-somethings. So how are we supposed to know how to get the information to that population if we don't know what they're watching? Like, I struggle with this.
We can do targeted advertising. That's paid advertising, but we want me to tell you where you can start?
Yeah.
Because I checked it out. Who has control of your Google business profile? Because when I go on there, it's unclaimed and unattended. And I'm not saying that to accuse anybody. I just told you I have a business that I've been doing business with for a good long while, and they're legitimate. They haven't claimed their business profile. It's just not in them, right? But you want to start there so that when the young people, which is what they're going to do, right? And it literally has a spot at the bottom where you can say, claim my business, right? And it is a process, and I was going to speak on that a little bit. So if everybody goes out today and Central Maine Motors, you've claimed your business. I checked it out, and she's got a bunch of photos. And so if you wanted to start today, the first thing I'd do is go home and claim your business. The one thing you do want to do, keep a special folder. When I used to do it for people, go out there and claim their business, optimize their Google listing and things of that nature, I used to give them a little packet to send over to say, here's your login information. Do not lose it. Because if you ever lose that, you will have to drive to Google headquarters. You know what I'm saying? They will not give it up at all. Go ahead, ma'am.
So I'm actually struggling with that.
Yep.
The person who claimed it before me no longer works with us, doesn't have the information.
Yep.
I've done everything from a live video of my location, my business card, my key entering the I mean, you have to literally prove you can enter the building.
Yes.
And I'm still not able to access it. Do you have any tips at all?
Have you been on the phone with anybody from Google? I know, that's the part. That's what.
All day, I don't want to call.
That's always how I'd end, right? Like I do as much as I could, but eventually you got to jump on the phone with Google and talk to somebody real and really explain and ask them, what do I have to do? When you originally claimed your business, just know what's going to happen. This is the old way. Maybe you can tell me different because I know you work in it now. But the old way was they would send you a postcard or a little mailer, and on that is some sort of code that you have to go back in to complete your profile. Have they done that part yet?
No.
Okay.
I thought we'd done enough. It had to be a continuous video outside, entering the building, showing my key, entering the building, showing my business card. I mean, I don't know what, other than like my firstborn, I don't know what else.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now spin around in circles. We're watching you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's tough, and they still didn't like it.
If you want to give me a ring, I'll get on the phone with you. Yeah, I've done it before. Yeah. And all you got to do is break it down and just say, how do I make this happen? Is this just an impossibility? And then you can talk about potentially starting a new Google business listing. And that could be something as small as putting the ink on the end of the LLC when it wasn't. Because sometimes, regardless of whether if your business gets of the size, and especially if you have a retail space or an office, whether you list your business or not, Google's going to find you and list it for you. So you might as well just take control of it from the beginning and be the author of it. Because it's got a lot of potential and a lot of opportunity as far as a local SEO standpoint, the near me type searches. That's where that Google business profile and the map packs. Everybody knows what I'm saying when I say map packs. A little, that's like more thing. And even when I was back deep into it, back in 2016, 17, the map pack began to out-click the first organic result. People were more concerned with where they could find things now than what the best result was as far as the SEO and algorithm was. They wanted to know how they could get their hands on it now, and I think that just speaks to where we are. I think 2-day Amazon delivery did that to us, right? So 2-day Amazon delivery trained us that we could have things now, or we could have them in 2 days. Is anybody getting 2-day delivery anymore?
No.
Yeah, thing of the past. Yeah, right. Everybody's still paying the same price though, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
No more.
That's true. Yeah. So I think we've kind of been trained that way. And the same thing with like short form video content. Where did we first see that? Oh, sorry, Kim.
You said the likes aren't the end all be all anymore, but doesn't the number of likes drive some algorithm that, I mean, I have thousands of friends that
Yep.
has thousands of followers. Like, don't you need a lot of likes to get it up there more?
That was the way. And I'll tell you, that's because that's what they could measure back in the day, Kim. So the algorithm's so complex now that the likes are a small portion of it, right? They're such a small portion of it. What they're really looking for is engagement, reference. We used to talk about, there used to be a service where for a certain amount of dollars, they would literally put your business all over the place, the link to your business, and that will legitimize you, right? Google shut that down. So what they're looking for is like people referencing you, people linking to you, things of that nature, a real affirmation that you're legitimate and you're able to provide the service or the product that you speak on.
So does that also count, like if we're tagging someone, does that count as engagement, or do they have to tag us, or?
I always say that tagging's always a great idea. I even do it on my personal Instagram account, right? It's just fun to do. That gives them an idea what the content's about. And you'll have a better opportunity going ahead and just tagging out. Now, of course, boosted posts. Everybody remembers boosted posts. Those worked like gangbusters when they first started, right? But now everybody, look at your Facebook post. Look at your Facebook feed. Every 8 post is a friend of mine. The other 7 are what, right? Yeah. So as far as like basically Facebook saying, you got to pay to play with us, right? And then that can get very expensive. Go ahead.
One more question. So for the longest time, we've kind of been trained that we need to put our money into like ads and stuff with Facebook. But if you had a pot of budgeted money for advertising, where would you spend it? Would you spend it to do social media ads or Google ads? Or both, or like, is it split it down the middle?
Pool of most likely. So wherever I could find the pool of most likely. So when I look at Facebook, we just talked about it. Facebook is, I don't want to say they're aging out, but they're older now, right? Facebook has grown up because we grew up with it. So really that's what you want to do is you want to come with some sort of client profile or potential customer profile and then make your decision as to where you're going to make your spend. I'm not saying Facebook ads are done. They're still very effective, but they're probably part of a larger plan at this point instead of your only plan, right? And when we talk about organic activity, that's free, right? So you're paying yourself back with your own effort. So when I talk about being measurable and things of that nature, say you had a $3,000 spend, right? And you generated $10,000 in revenue. If we're talking about a true baseline, you need to think about the time and effort you put into that, right? And then the cost of the product. So everything's got to be figured into that. You can't just say we made $10,000 by spending $3. Use Google Analytics and Meta Insights. Google Analytics used to be very overwhelming. Not so much anymore. When I started, I'll tell you how I started. I started on YouTube in 2014. That's how I started teaching myself. So when my buddy was like, hey, I need an SEO expert. Boom, YouTube. What does he need done now? So what I would do is I would take it job by job, and I would say, what are they looking for? And I would YouTube it, right? And then I'd work it, and then I'd measure it and look at it and see if that actually worked, right? And then I actually teamed up with, I didn't team up with, they allowed me to team up with, it was at the time it was a place called Udacity. They were one of the first who were offering like online courses and digital marketing. And this was a true online course, essentially, that you could take, and they offer certification and things of that nature. But I didn't do that until after I'd been YouTubing for a year and a half, right? So I literally had real world experience when I went in and refined it with a more globe perspective on the entire digital marketing realm. Because some people think digital marketing is just paid advertising, but digital marketing includes your organic activity as well. Track website conversions, cost per lead, and customer lifetime value. Once again, make it measurable. That's what digital marketing is all about. That's kind of what we do at New Center Maine. It's not kind of what we do, it is what we do at New Center Maine. So if you were talking about doing a paid campaign with us, you would be looking at us doing all of that for you. So all of that would be done for you. I was just on a telephone conversation with somebody last week, and they're like talking to me about how they're going to do the reporting and whatever. We'll do the reporting for you. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need to know? What do you need to show your boss to show that what you're doing is effective? We'll provide that for you. And as far as learning Google Analytics, YouTube. And at least it's not what it once was, because what it once was very disjointed. We talked about this just a minute ago. $3,000 ad spend, say you buy $100,000 local impressions, they're targeted, and you book 10,500 in book jobs. You got to make sure you have an established baseline. I would do this most likely, I would do this by quarter. Some businesses are seasonal, so you'll have upticks and then you'll have slow times. But I would basically establish a baseline by quarter. Small budget, smart targeting, real return on investment. You don't need tens of thousands of dollars to make a campaign go. What you need to be doing is reaching the right people at the right time. And that's what we specialize in at News Maine with CTV OTT. Does everybody know CTV OTT when I speak on that? So when you're streaming and you see a commercial that's local, that's what we do. So one of the big things that we're doing right now is if anybody watches Sunday Night Football and sees a local commercial in there this week, so you watch Sunday Night Football on Peacock and you see a local commercial, that's our placement. And it's a lot more cost effective than buying an actual broadcast spot on Sunday Night Football. So once again, a smaller budget can accommodate, or a smaller budget may be enough for an OTT CTV campaign, whereas in a broadcast realm, right, you're reaching more people, like you're reaching mass quantities, but you're subject to that audience. Broadcast still has its spot as part of the larger plan. And we call it total TV. So that's broadcast, that's local OTT, and that's our NCM Plus app. That's our total TV package. Everything's video nowadays. We used to operate with websites and pay-per-click ads and things of that nature. We walked away from that when we saw that video was going to dominate and video was king. What's next in digital? AI and automation. So everybody's throwing around AI, right? Everybody's throwing around AI. I used, my preference is ChatGPT. That's what I use. It helped me put together this presentation. So when you talk about AI, AI is not going to replace you. I can't remember where I heard this, Kelly, but AI is not going to replace you, but someone who knows how to use AI may. So AI may not replace your business or what you do, but somebody who does what you do or is in business doing the same thing as you do, using AI in a smart way, may do so. Voice and visual search is on the rise. So we got a guy at work. I don't know why he does it, but all his texts he has to voice. He has to voice all his texts right in front of you. So, but people are getting away from, you think he's talking to you, right? But he's over the other side going, and you say, what? I'm doing a text, right? So people are even getting away from typing in for search, right? They want to be able to voice it. And visual search, when I speak on visual search, do people know what I'm speaking on? So you can use your phone now, and you can say, what's this? Take a picture, boom, and it will search it for you. I use it all the time. That is on its way, and I'm not saying you have to dig into that right now, but you do want to pay attention to if there's an opportunity to create a pool of most likely there for you, right? So you want to remain aware of it and implement it when the time comes. Connected TV. That's what I do. I've been behind the scenes for 6 years. So when I stand up here now and get a little nervous, it's because I've been behind the scenes for so long. And if you look at this, you kind of know why. But connected TV is not really, it is the future, because essentially broadcasting connected TV, this is happening, right? This is happening. More and more people are moving over to connected TV. They're disconnecting. They're coming off the airwaves as well. They're coming off the cable. And so when you talk about connected TV, that's why we developed our NCM Plus, News Maine Plus app. And that is now That is now and probably for the foreseeable future. Privacy and trust, it's always been a thing. It's not just now, it's always been a thing. Establishing the fact that you'll take care of your clients and that they can trust you, that's what's next in digital. And that we do that through the conversations and the engagement that we have through social. And the message that we're putting out to people using OTT, CTV, YouTube, whatever you may be using, that's how you do it. So 4 things you can do this quarter. Be findable, optimize listings and reviews. If you need help, YouTube. Be relatable. Post authentic, story-driven content. No one's gonna know what that icon means, but it's a website that I used to use. It's called Answer the Public. Has anyone ever heard of it? Okay. So there's a site called answerthepublic.com. When you're struggling for something to post or something to say about your business, Answer the Public. You can go out there and type anything, whatever your business may be. You can create a query, and it will tell you what people are asking for questions. So then you simply can answer those questions. And to me, at this point, that used to be a blog opportunity. For me, that used to be a blog opportunity. I would go in and create a blog around that question, right? But for me, now it's a 30 seconds. Hey, everybody, you struggling to find insurance in Central Maine? We can help you over here, especially if you're looking for homeowners insurance. We know this time of year when a lot of people bought, you're looking for it? Stop on in. Bang, done, right? So you haven't got to struggle to come up with content. Participate in paid advertising opportunities in conjunction with your organic activity. So if you've got everything else here going on, we can really give you a lift. And if you just want to give me a call and chit chat and you have some thoughts, I'm open to that. I've got to fill 8 hours a day, right? So I don't think anyone wants to be on the phone with me for 8 hours, but be measurable. Track what's working and double down. That's what digital's for. In broadcast, we used to be able to tell you, okay, this is how many people we reached, right? And then you'd have to tell. Digital is for measurement. And so if you don't know where you are or where you started, how are we going to know how far you've come? Marketing used to be about making noise. Now it's about making connections. I think that's kind of what this whole has been about. Used to be able to just mass market, put up a billboard, right? Have a nice big sign out front, and that was enough. But now it's about making those actual connections, because we live in a world where people want what they want now, and they want it to be a little bit, maybe a lot of bit about them, right? Questions? What's working for your business right now? Where are you struggling to see results? Anybody got any questions? Yes?
So I've been making some Facebook Reels recently.
Yep.
And when you were referencing engagement, so do they have to get a like for engagement, or is it just people viewing it is still considered engagement?
I would consider view engagement.
Okay.
Yeah. And not only that, I would do it, I don't want to say inundate, but make it part of your practice. Yeah. And I'd stay consistent with it. Consistency is key. You're not going to go out in one day and win the world, but if you stay consistent and you're always there, you're always there. It's just like those commercials. How many times have I seen this commercial this week, right? Right? But the next thing you know, you're over to Central Maine Motors buying a car from them, right? You know? So that's the way I think about it. So when I talk about a drum beat, that's kind of where I'm at. And make it so it's manageable. Don't commit to posting every day if you're going to get, oh, this day I'm stuck, I can't, right? Drum beat, manageable, what you can manage. So if you're a one-man band, what can you manage once a week, right? Eventually that becomes a huge repository of just stuff that's out there ready to be consumed by those who are searching for your product or service. Yep.
There's one over here.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm one of those 20-something-year-olds. And I only use Google if I need something in the next 3 hours.
Yep.
If I am looking to go someplace or have more time to plan, I'm using Instagram as my search engine. I'm saying, what is there to do, fun things to do in Waterville, places to eat in Waterville, and watching the reels of people and businesses in that area. Is there a way you can optimize those reels being at the top of that search when you do it? So for Mike's example with the chamber, is there a way that he can post a reel and get that optimized so when I search fun things to do in the winter in Waterville, that reel will be in the top like 5 that I'm scrolling through when I click on the first one?
Facebook. So Facebook owns Instagram.
Yeah.
So I believe you'll operate right through the Facebook. You'd have to probably do some paid advertising. The one thing you want to do is make sure that you're tagging it. I'm sure your results are based on the tagging that takes place and the query that you made. I love what you said though about going to Instagram for those type of things, because the reality of the situation is people no longer want you to tell them. They want you to show them. That's why YouTube does what it does, right? YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world now because it shows you. It doesn't tell you anymore. I think people are over you telling me about your business. Show me what you do. And so when you're looking for a restaurant, a place to travel, you don't want to read a paragraph on it. You want to see what it is. And I think that's the way that everything's going, right? Prove it out to me by taping it and showing it to me.
Are hashtags still as relevant as they used to be?
Not as they, like everything else, right? They want you to pay to play. That's my feeling on it. They want you to pay to play. So when you talk about hashtagging something, yes, always do so because it's just your effort that it's costing you. And then you want to integrate some paid advertising in there as well because it will back up everything else, right? But all of this is everything's part of a larger plan. There's nothing that you can really one-man band anymore. But today I really wanted to speak on, I didn't want to come in and pitch what we do specifically, even though we're great at it, and I really like doing it, right? But I didn't want to come in and sell you. I wanted to give you some things that you could walk away today, and maybe you already knew it, and it's just restirring your mind, but tagging things doesn't hurt, right?
Where's LinkedIn with all this?
I would connect LinkedIn to your Facebook. I mean, LinkedIn's even more, when I talk about how I present myself on LinkedIn, you're informative, right? So when we talked about, let me go back to that one. Oh, I don't want to go all the way back, but because it's right at the beginning. But when we talk about LinkedIn, that's you're dressed up. You're really dressed up on that, and you're given to get, right? So on LinkedIn, we do have an account executive in Portland who does a great job with LinkedIn. He doesn't sell a thing. He talks about his successes. Worked with a business the other day. Great to see this, and he talks all about them, right? And how great it was working with them. And then he just lets that lay there out on LinkedIn, and he draws a lot of business that way. So it's more of a give. It's more of a give to get situation on LinkedIn, and it's very buttoned up. So, and that's why you save Instagram, right? That's why you save Instagram and TikTok for your office party, right? So, not the Christmas party, but a pizza party on a Friday, right? So,
Yeah, so I'm also one of those 20-somethings. And a lot of my friends and I are actually trying to move away from Meta platforms.
Yep.
So I didn't know if you had any alternative social media platforms you might be able to recommend for businesses.
Right now, as far as mass, it is, for me, it's TikTok with the young kids. Unless you want to get involved in Snapchat, and I don't know if that's brand appropriate. Snapchat's a little, I don't know much about it because I've never really experienced it.
What are you using?
As far as,
No, I'm asking.
oh, sorry, ma'am.
I'm asking the 20-somethings.
Yeah.
Use it.
So we have been going back onto Tumblr, but that's not really a business.
Yeah.
And it's kind It's really kind of tough because we're in rural Maine, right? So we're in rural Maine, so we're the last probably to hear about Tumblr, right? We're the last to hear about it, so it's hard to generate a moved audience off Tumblr when only 7% of the state subscribes to Tumblr. So eventually we'll do that. We'll be there. It's just not now. I would continue to post there and be ready for when it hits. That's what I'd do. It doesn't hurt. That's for sure. Thank you, everybody, for having me. Yeah. Oh, Chad, I thought you were signaling me or something. Yeah. Yeah. Depends on if the other person shares the post you shared. I mean, that's really where it gets traction, right? But once again, they want you to pay to play. So keep it going because it's free. It's your effort. But also make sure that the effort that you're giving is equivalent to what you're getting back. Don't spend all your time posting on social to try to if it's not working for you, but post on a rhythm so that when people arrive, they see you as legitimate, right? So they don't see you haven't posted in 3 months. If you haven't posted in 3 months, you're almost dead in the water. Who are you? Are you still in business, right? So that's where I'll leave that. Thank you, everybody, for having me. It was really fun. Have a great time.